I gave a really easy assignment to get about 20 likes on the previous video where we went into a Gruul aggro budget build. Very standard, very typical stuff with the twin shot snipers, the Iconoclast, evolving adaptive, and a bunch of removal damage spells that we had, as well as some not so great cards that I just wanted to kind of try out and see if they would have a place in the standard. Contagious Vorak being the main guy, that probably not. This is a limited card only, and Jetmir Fixer also looking pretty bad in that. But it was good enough to get wins in play. And we versed a lot of decks that had a lot of rares in them as well. But we could do better than that. And you guys wanted to see it. Today, we are upgrading just piece by piece this Gruul aggro deck. And this is what we have for you here today. This is not where this deck ends. This is just a very budget kind of upgrade that we have built into this deck. I've added a lot of pieces that are pretty essential to having a strong aggro build, like Reckless Stormseeker and Feldon Ronom Excavator. This card is very good for kind of getting in there fast, getting in there furious. It has haste, and Reckless Stormseeker can also have haste if you target itself whenever it enters the battlefield. Yeah, the same deck except for those two things. We're also running with 4 copies of Colossal Growth to give our guys trample and haste if we need to finish off our opponent in a fast way and we don't have enough power, not enough juice to get over the opponent's bigger creatures that they may be casting turns 3, 4, and 5. We also added 3 copies of Halana and Alena. The partners are here. First strike, reach. We know about this card. At the beginning of your combat, on your turn, put X/1/1 counters on another target creature you control where X is Halana and Alena's power. That creature gains haste until the end of turn. Yet another way to give things like the Jewel Thief haste, to give things like, well, I guess the Jewel Thief is the only thing that really doesn't have haste in here, so I'm going to call that out once more. Yep, that's going to come in, Vigilance, haste, trample, and probably some 1/1 counters on it, or if not, maybe it is a 4/3 or a 5/3, depending on whether it is day or night with the Reckless Stormseeker. Really nice way to get that Jewel Thief out there, pumping and kicking and getting mana onto the battlefield. There are still some weaknesses with this deck, and we will talk about them at the end. But if this video does well, said 20 likes last time, and you guys nailed that within a day. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. The YouTube algorithm really appreciates that. It helps spread the word about my channel. To get the concept of just building up a deck from scratch, slowly making it slightly larger, slightly more rares over time. Right. Yeah. So that's really going to help this. We went with 20 last time, and you guys nailed it within a few hours. So maybe there's more of you out there that like this kind of content, and you could really help me out by liking the video. So 30. We're going to go with 30 now. You get 30 likes on this video, we're going to upgrade this sucker again, and we're going to show you kind of what I'm thinking about at the end of this here video. I do have some ideas to make this guy bigger, and we will continue to do so. So, without further ado, let's get into the arena and let the Halana and Alena nonsense begin. For your watching pleasure, I don't think this is ready quite for ranked matches yet, but I think it has enough tools to do well right after the season restarted. The people who have tons of time to grind and have the biggest decks, they are probably a little bit higher than gold right now, so maybe we're picking off some of those mid-range players, so those medium players with this deck, you know, guys that don't have the biggest decks in the world, but don't have small decks either and know what they're doing. We're going to do that. We're going to jump in. We're going to play in gold, and I think it's going to do well, even in ranked. Would not be a mythic level deck, but in gold, I think we can pull it off. All red mana. Or all green mana. All forests. I know the colors. I know the difference between red and green, but failed right there. Okay, Feldon. Lightning Strike. Alena, Jewel Thief. This is fine. And I think we actually dump land because we have such a low mana curve here. We don't have a good turn 1 play, which is really quite the shame. We were not punished for getting rid of the land. Uh-oh. Mono blue? Gross. He dumps off a Haughty Jin as well. Man, oh man. So this gets countered. But we have to play our things. Make disappear. Don't think this is one that we're going to be able to get above. 2 Halana and Alenas in hand. Jewel Thief can help us get there. But of course we get Essence Scattered. When going up against this mono blue tempo deck, you still have to play your things. See, eventually they'll start getting through. Okay. Looks good. We'll go to the next turn. Blue. Terror. Okay then. We've got a way around that. Uh-oh. Good deal. Yeah, okay. Well, no attacks then. That ain't gonna happen. Down to 2 cards, though. Can't block it. Gotta take it like a chump. Tons of mana left. We are punished for not having the correct amount of mana. Let's try to resolve a Stormseeker here. We could get just a little bit more damage off and put some pressure on the opponent. Swing. There's a Fading Hope. But he is down to 2 cards. He does not drop mana, which is really a shame. What's that ward? 2? See, now the deck is just messing with me, right? Come on in. Hit him. We could play the adaptive here. I think we do. And we want to hold or play with fire? No, we can't. We can't. That was a missed opportunity on my part. Let's see. What are we seeking? Well, first thing, I don't mind if he counters this at all. We kind of need him to counter it. And he does. 2 lightning strikes, huh? Let's see. 4 puts him down to 10. Try to resolve this. It gets countered, of course. We need to hold up the adaptive because we need to block this terror. Okay. See, thirst for knowledge or flow of knowledge is definitely the best card in there. Yep, there's Fading Hope. I pick it up. Down to 3 cards again. He makes me slip out the back. He says good game, and that's it. We lost the first round, but it was to a very good deck, so. And mana base is not great. Do we get punished for keeping this? Probably. This is a little bit better. Colossal Growth can kind of go away. I have this in here as kind of a one-off. Opponent says hello. We'll pass. He plays red, so we're probably good to do play with fire to the face. He does the same thing. We'll trade it off. Put that on the bottom. We don't need a third one. What we need is more land. Colossal Growth. Come out with a Feldon, swing in, do a couple damage, pass back. He gets a Reckless Impulse. We get the land. That's exactly what we needed. Exactly what we needed. And as you can see, we're playing with basically the rares that we added to this deck. That's not necessarily necessary, but it's nice when you get it. Face Breaker. Swing. And this is why I think the Colossal Growth is actually pretty good. He does that. We... Nope. We kick it. Nobody expects the Colossal Growth. Nobody plays it. I play it. What do we want? We probably want the land drop, actually. As weird as that sounds, we probably want the land drop. Therefore, if we draw Halana and Alena, we could play it. Stormseeker gets rid of the... Oh, yeah. Lightning Strike gets rid of the Stormseeker. Down to 5. And, it's beautiful when things work out, isn't it? Opponent says, good game. We charge the Stormseeker. We swing. And that's it. Damage done. Baby, we're out. Pretty nice on the lands. We don't have a turn 1 play. Again, well, we do. We play with fire. But this Rockfall Vale will come in tapped. So technically, we do not have a turn 1 play. But technically, we do because this costs 1 mana. It's complicated. Life is complicated. Magic is fun and life is complicated. And our opponent is really slow to play their first land. There we go, Ijanjo. In the spirit of a control player, he is very slow. Alright, we do have a turn 1 play. Could destroy that initiate. Really depends on what he does. It really does. We don't have a play till the Reckless Stormseeker on turn 3, except for burn spells, removal. If he is mono white... Yeah. Kill it. No, thank you. Don't want to deal with that. Uh-huh. So, usually you're targeting face with any kind of removal like we have here. But since our opponent seems to be playing kind of the same game we are, I am very willing to target creatures, remove them from the field so he can't get his damage off. If we're taking 1 per turn from the initiate, that's not very bad. The Intrepid Adversary, that's gonna that could lead to some problems later on, and we don't want that lifelink going through and, you know, taking advantage of our desire to eliminate the opponent's health total to 0 as fast as humanly possible. So we eliminate the Intrepid Adversary, knowing full well that going to the face we could actually scry. Those were a lot of words. And the opponent still is not done with their turn. So was it really a lot of words, or was it just enough words? Going to my turn. I think we hit him in the face. Just to burn off that mana from last turn. And then we Stormseeker. And we show that we're the real aggro-y aggro guy. They could try to be aggro, but we are the true aggro. Gruul. Mana. Brutal Cathar. Again, we're going to have to take him down a notch. Take that off of the field. We could play with fire. We get the Seeker back. play with fire. Hit that. Get our Seeker. We're lacking 1 mana to do a really fun thing. But I think we're in control of this match. Next turn we could Colossal Growth, Lightning Strike on his turn, depending on what he does. Merrill. Okay. That's a tough card to get around. Especially being as aggressive as we are, but my god, if that's not an interesting draw. We're gonna swing. Does he block? He's thinking about it. He does not. Let's do it like this. 9. Down to 2. Alright, let's see what opponent has. But I think we got this one. Lightning Strike to the face. He's gone. Wedding announcement ain't gonna win. He's gonna swing in for 4. Create. No, he does not swing in. Okay. Regardless, Lightning Strike. Pow. Pow. 2 and 1. In ranked. With a just slight upgrade. Don't love the mana base here. Do love the hand. Been facing that a lot with this deck. Don't want to go up in mana though, because we want to basically play a bunch of creatures all the time. And we haven't really been punished for keeping 2-land hands like this. We haven't been punished, so I'm going to keep playing them until the shuffler starts to punish me for it. Green. Rot Priest. Okay, I'm going to punish him for that move, because that is too aggressive. Getting the Rot Priest out immediately with nothing to protect it is a thing you can do, but probably should not do. I wasn't expecting Grigori from the opponent. Kumano faces Kakkazan. Deals the damage. And we're still seeking a 3rd land. I might have spoke too soon, and the, shuffler is going to punish me right here and right now. That's very possible. Mana. Opponent gets his mana drops. Okay, gets a proliferate going. Mana, mana, mana. Yes, mana it is. It is a shame that, we no longer have our adaptive. But we'll work our way around it. Opponent's got something. Maybe a cut down, but that won't hit this. Nope, he only has green up. Maybe a protection spell that he should have saved the Rot Priest for. There you go. There's yourself a Glade. Dual land. Alright, come on in. Water's fine. Hit him for 6. Down to 8. We Jewel Thief. Kind of worried about any kind of board wipe thing that our opponent could be planning for us. Takanuma ain't gonna do it. Probably grabbing the Rot Priest back. Maybe that's his only creature in the deck. It's pretty slow to be playing a Rot Priest right now. That is what we get though. Contaminator. Iconoclast. Though I like the Iconoclast in this situation, Halana and Alena is just that much better. We're going to go with the Jewel Thief. We're going to swing for 5. Should have probably swung with the Iconoclast as well. Yeah, I had a feeling that he would trade here. Yeah, kill the bigger one. Therefore, we can swing in with everything. He's only at 2 poison, so I'm not worried about getting kind of beat out of this game. Mana. He's gone. He is gone. Does pretty well in ranked, have to admit. Kumano faces Kakkazan. Evolving Adaptive. Feldon. Ronom's Excavator. And Colossal Growth. Again, we haven't really been punished for keeping 2 land hands, so I will continue to play the 2 land hand, even though I know it's wrong. I know it is wrong, but my God, do results matter? Yes. Bank Buster. Nice and slow from the opponent. We're gonna hide the green from him, just because we have the opportunity to get the Feldon out, get some damage off. Hide the green. We only need 1 on the ground for like a Colossal Growth or an Adaptive. Maybe another Kumano faces Kakkazan. 80. That's not what we wanted. That is kind of a weakness with Feldon. He's really only good with creature spams and, you know, he's not good against removal spells. He's good against damage spells and creatures blocking him. We're going to drop that down. We are going to swing. But I have to think here. Do we want a Colossal Growth? No, we don't. We just want to swing for 2. Nice and easy. Evolving Adaptive. And we'll pass turn. We do want to draw a creature next turn. So if we have the opportunity, we play with fire to the face. And make sure we're not going to draw another land. Another land would probably kill us. That's annoying. Yep, we'll resolve it. Land goes about him. Glad we did that. Halana and Alena right on cue, right on schedule, and looking fantastic. We're going to pump the Adaptive, I think, and we'll swing all in. Seeing what this opponent has had so far, probably has the removal for Halana and Alena. Probably the Adaptive too. Mono White, maybe, and Bank Buster. With the Laydown Arms, probably playing a Board Wipe or 2. Ossification grabs the Halana and Alena. But if that's all he's doing, we're fine. Wedding Announcement. Swing. And Colossal Growth, make it an 8/8. Out of mana, buddy. That's it. That is game. Nobody expects Colossal Growth. Nobody. How many times have we won with Colossal Growth of all cards? Yeah, it's pretty impressive, I think. We'll do one more. Hey, a Vale. Turn 1, Vale. Turn 2, Mana. Turn 3, Iconoclast. Turn 4, Halana and Alena. Let's see if we can get that off. Not quite aggro. Oh, my. Nah, we got to get this down. We gotta get that down. It would have been nice to play with fire to the face. But maybe it's just not the will of God. I'm going to play it. We're going to start to build out our board state. Because we got the mana for the Halana and Alena now. Stormseeker comes out. We swing for 6 next turn. He might remove the Iconoclast now. It would be a shame. It would be a shame. Opponent. Aha. No removal. That's what we like to see. Reckless Stormseeker. Always really nice tempo aggro play. Reckless Stormseeker has shown to be a very useful card in many kinds of decks. There's the Aberrate, removes a Stormseeker. Jetmere Gardens. Nice little triome. And it looks like we're getting an element of green in his deck as well. We draw another Stormseeker. I think it's time for Halana and Alena. What beautiful dwarves we have. Nope, they are human. Human. They look really short, though. Really D&D style. I like it. I like the art here. Definitely didn't think they were humans, though. Again, we rope. And we finally get to our attack phase. Here we go. Doing what Gruul does best, turn our creatures sideways. And of course, he had removal. We are still on the tempo, though. Board wipe, but not to fear. Our deck does the exact same thing over and over and over again. Come in for 5, down to 6, and that should be close again. So this is 3, 4, 5. Probably Lightning Strike to the face, depending on what opponent does right here. Tapped land. Cathartic Pyre. It's not good enough. Looking for removal, I would imagine. Lightning Strike. There it is. Down to 3. Oh, you better believe we're playing the Seeker here. Yep, here and here. Swing in for 10. He scoops it up. Played 6 rounds. Lost 1. Won 5. Well, it's gold ranked tier 1 now. But pretty effective. Pretty effective. We were never on the back foot at all. Except for that one game against Mono Blue. That tempo deck is going to be the death of me. Let's go and look at a post-game wrap. We're going to talk about upgrades, and we're also going to talk once again about what we're expecting in the next video. And we are back with the conclusion of the matches. This deck went 5 wins, 1 loss in ranked play. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting it to be a little bit jankier, especially since our mana base isn't completely up to date yet. We don't have the rest of the rares that we need to really push this to the next level, but we might not even need to with this deck. It might make it a little bit more budget friendly to not increase the mana base. We're going to play it by ear. We're going to trial by fire on that. I think I will add another Rockfall Vale to it and reduce the Racer Rings 1. But overall, this deck did phenomenal. I wasn't expecting this to win as often as it did, but when your turn 1 Kumano faces Kakkazan or Evolving Adaptive or even Play with Fire to the face, it's always a feels good moment. You get these nice little 1-drops in there. Turn 2, you're going into Feldon. Turn 3, either the Stormless or the Reckless Stormseeker, the Jewel Thief, or the Yavimaya Iconoclast for 3 with haste, really good, and into a Halana and Alena. There's always a threat on the field. It's always coming at you hot and heavy, and there's very little your opponent could do with that, especially with the fact if they leave one creature on the field, they're going to take a Colossal Growth to the face. This was the MVP of this deck. A common from Dominaria United. Colossal Growth really, really punched above its class in this deck. Don't know if that would continue if you played 30, 40 games, but in the 6 games I play with this today, Colossal Growth really seemed to do a lot. And I think a big part of the reason is your opponent is not expecting you to play Colossal Growth. It's pretty big. +4/+4 trample and haste. Not only does this protect your creatures, but it gets damage off on your opponent and kills their creatures. Great symmetry with this deck. And lo and behold, if the matches go on a little bit too long, you could always lightning strike and play with fire to their face, get the final damage off, because later on in the game, 3/3 isn't going to look big. A 3/3 with haste isn't going to look big. A 4/3 coming out is not going to look big. So you gotta kind of win early, and win early we did. And the only spells that we have in here are just to push our opponent over. That's all it's trying to do. Surprise our opponent. Either damage to the face or growing our creatures above their creatures, killing their favorite creature and dealing damage directly to them as well. Even if we lose a creature, just that in and of itself is good enough for Colossal Growth. The only reason this made the deck was because that trample haste for the +4/+4 if you kick it for 1 red. Yeah, great card from what I've seen. I'm going to keep playing with this. This stays in the deck. And let's talk about what we would upgrade here. Let's see what stays in, what comes out, and what we could do to make this just a little bit stronger. As said, we're going to add one of these Rockfall Vales. Halana and Alena's, that's where we want them. Stormseekers, that's where we want them. Feldon, that's where we want them. We definitely want Kumano faces Kakkazan, but there are some green creatures that we have not played in here that I think would be very good renditions. If this video gets 30 likes on it, we are going to be trying out the Quarian Beast Caller in place of the Iconoclast, and we are actually going to... The Quarian Beast Caller is kind of an upgrade for the Evolving Adaptive, especially for this deck that doesn't use a whole lot of oil mechanics. We can use oil mechanics, but we're just not doing it for this particular deck. And now we need another good 1-drop to play in place of the Adaptive. I'm thinking about something like everybody's favorite Monastery Swift Spear. And the reason is it costs 1. It kind of replaces the adaptive, and we do have a lot of the deck that's non-creatures, 16 in fact. So Swift Spear is always going to have a target, or he's always going to grow, either with a Play with Fire, Kumano faces Kakkazan, Lightning Strike, or the Colossal Growth. He gets synergies with all of those things. So having a big Swift Spear on the ground, maybe even if we're hiding green from the opponent like we did in a couple of those matches because we only need 1 green for each of these things, it's worth having him. People are going to think, when you see the Swift Spear, Lightning Strikes, Kumano faces Kakkazan, Play with Fire, and a couple more of the aggro-y instant plays. So they're going to want to prioritize removing this. Now, notice what I have been doing with the upgrades, right? Yeah, Swift Spear is an uncommon, just like the adaptive was a uncommon 1-drop as well. But think about what it does. You put this out, this is a target, this is a target, this is a target, this is not so much a target, but this is a target, and this is a target. All of our creatures we've upgraded to be the creatures that players like to target whenever they come out. Well, what happens if you have too many targets? Well, what happens is you get run over by your opponent. We are going to be doing something with the Jewel Thief, and if this video gets 30 likes, I will introduce what that is. But remember, 30 likes, we do this deck. We do this one where we're going in with a slightly stronger deck. Even though the deck that we had today did really, really well, there's room for improvement. There's room for growth in this deck. And yeah, I think that we're leaning more towards like a Beast Caller. Might be a little bit slow, but even getting a 1/1 counter on a Stormseeker or a Halana and Alena is really powerful in and of itself. It also makes it hard to remove anything else but the Beast Caller, because the Beast Caller just gets bigger and bigger and bigger every creature that comes out, much like the adaptive, but at a much faster pace. And when it dies, you actually get synergies. Whenever it dies, you kind of want it to die when it becomes a 5/5, when it becomes a 6/6. You want it to die. Therefore, you're actually getting a lot more value out of it. So, that's it for today. Thank you for joining. Remember, 30 likes on the video. Last time I gave you guys 20 likes and you nailed it in less than a day. So, gotta pump up those numbers just a little bit. And if I don't want to put it out of reach, because I really want to do this video, I think it looks like a lot of fun to continue playing this Gruul stuff and growing out a specific deck to be a big hitter in the meta. Not there yet, but we're getting there. And you guys determine whether we continue to move that direction or not, because I want to know what you guys want to see on the channel. So thank you for joining today. Make sure that you've liked the video and subscribe to the channel to see more. And I will see you next time in the arena. Bye.